A Garage Geek 2-in-1. A comics symphony with interludes. Welcome to Garage Geek. So this is going to be a comics haul video with shoutouts interspersed. Yesterday, I had 2 boxes that came in the mail. So I'm going to start with a box that I got from Mr. E, the Low Grade King. Mr. E was so great because I sent out feelers for 2 comics that I wanted. I think I saw them on maybe Halyaz's channel, or I'm not sure exactly where I saw them, but there is an artist who died young, and I'm going to cover him more on my Friday night video. Right now, I'm just going to show the comics. And I know he made 3 DC, 1 Batman, 1 Green Lantern, 1 Flash, and he might have done more. So when I found out about the Green Lantern, I have the Batman in a collected edition. I'll show that in my Friday video. But when I found out about the Green Lantern and the Flash comics and I saw examples of the art, I put out feelers to a couple people I know, and I'm like, hey, if you go to a convention or a comic book store and you happen to find these cheap, please get them for me. And Mr. E did that, and I'm so thankful to him for thinking of me and doing that. I don't know how much he paid for them because he actually spends a lot of money on his comics. I just hope he didn't spend a lot of money on them. So the first one I'm going to show is Green Lantern Willow World. Now, you can get a sense of this guy's art. His name is Seth Fisher. So you can get a sense of the quirkiness of his art from the cover. Again, I'm going to go over this in my Friday video. I'm going to read this one today. The next one is The Flash, and this one is called Time Flies. I read this one this morning because it was the shorter of the 2. And again, you can get a sense of his art from the cover. Third time I'm saying this, I'm going to cover both of these comics plus the Batman one in my Friday chat. So he also sent me a bunch of other comics, so I'm going to go through them because some of them were surprising. So I guess he had an extra copy of this, and I'm so glad he did. What a cool cover. Now, I just watched Halyaz Comics live stream about retconning and changing continuity, and I think they mentioned Final Crisis and all that. I'm so out of it when it comes to reading a lot of comics. I'm slowly going back and getting caught up because I was away from the comic book world for a long time. But I do have to say, I love that cover. A Khazar the Savage. This is definitely going to be a wraparound cover. I loved this series as a kid. I was addicted to it. Oh, and this one has this great photo cover with the characters just slapped on. That's pretty cool. Here's a King Conan number 2. This is also a series I loved as a teen. And look at that great art. So this is JBEC. John Buscema and Ernie Chan, I'm going to guess. JBEC. But yeah, look at that. That John Buscema art, whoa. Speaking of Buscema, Larry's Library, he knows... Mr. E knows that I love Spectacular Spider-Man, and I don't mind having doubles because I'm hanging them on my wall. So there's going to be quite a few. He just sent me his doubles, and it doesn't matter if I have them already or not. Some of them I do, some of them I don't, but I want doubles of all these because like I said, I'm rotating them on my wall, putting them in Mylar. Here's another Khazar number 24. Let's see if this has a wraparound cover. And it does. Let's go ahead and look at that wraparound cover. Very War of the Worlds or something. This is a cool comic. Outcast by Kirkman and Azaceta. It is number 1. I don't know if this is a first edition or anything like that. I don't care. That is a cool comic. I actually have the collected editions, and I really enjoyed the story. In fact, I'm not sure if I finished it or not. Okay, here's another Sal Buscema. I just like saying Buscema. Sal Buscema cover. I don't know about you, but I think that is gorgeous. The only quibble is it would have been cool for a slightly different colored background. Small quibble. I think that is just a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. I don't know. I'm in love with this guy's work. Probably you're sick of hearing me go on and on about it. Now, Halyaz, take note. The next 3. Here is Action Comics number 421 from 1973. It says, The Fantastic Feats of Captain Strong. I mean, look at that, guys. Popeye, if there ever was one. Who you kidding changing to Superman in a phone booth? Yeah, he's right. That's hilarious. Oh my gosh, that's a great cover. Next, we have a 20 center. This is number 431 Action Comics. Yeah, look at that cool cover. Who out there likes body morph comics? Because here we kind of have body morphing. Not really. He's ripping off the skin. They look like, what do you say, those conjoined twins there? I finally unmasked you for the monster you really are. You exposed my secret, but sacrificed yours. Now the whole world knows Clark Kent is Superman for the 4,000th time. Oh, and there's a backup story with Green Arrow. Here is another Action Comics 436, a 20 center. This is a job for Perry White. Look at that cool background. Cool cover. And finally, a more modern Action Comics, which I'm also collecting. This is number 664. Is this his mullet phase? I'm not sure. But yeah, look at that. I mean, Superman is back in time or something, battling dinosaurs. That dinosaur even has a little bit of blood on his claws. Mr. E, I can't thank you enough for this package, and that's going to lead me into my second part of this video, and that's going to be to shout out a couple of comic book community members that I don't think are getting enough love. Now, I could add Hall Yeah to this list, but I'm not going to. I've mentioned him quite a few times, and I really feel that he's on a trajectory where he's going to be okay. But Mystery the Low Grade King, he's been making videos for 2 years. He has 252 subs.
All right, next up is Master of the Universe, number 4, with Hordak on the cover. It's the anniversary cover. Trying to get all the anniversary covers. I got most of them already. Just need a few more.
He regularly makes videos. He has 260, and he shows off his comics, and he's very endearing. He's always taking his glasses and moving them up so he could see better. And I've written in the comments so many times, please buy bifocals, but he won't do it. He'd rather spend the money on the comics, which I don't get. Now, that's the other thing. He's the low-grade king, but he is spending so much money on his comic collection, and it's a shame that more people aren't out there to taking notice of what he's doing, because he's got an amazing comic book collection that puts mine to shame. More people should be interacting with him about his love of comics.
I think it's number 6. Ramba. No, this is Ramba. Ewok. Pretty cool.
He also, after almost every comic or action figure that he shows, he says, it's cool, or this is cool. And the way he says it sounds like Elvis, and I kind of chuckle every time he says it. So the next part of my video, I have 60 comics from a seller, I think, on Facebook. Now what he does is, he has Facebook Marketplace sales. I don't know how those work, but they're like claim sales. And whatever he doesn't sell, he usually contacts me because he knows that I will buy all the junk that he has left over. But the junk that he has left over is gold for me. He usually has I've gotten so many really, really nice comics from him, and not all of them are in bad condition. So, and he always gives me a really, really good price. So he sent me 60 comics today. He was going to charge me $65 total, $1 a book with $5 for shipping. And I wrote to him, I'm like, normally I would take that because they're, you know, mostly they're like older, like gold key comics, like, you know, the Bugs Bunny and the Yosemite Sam and those kind of things. Not a high demand, but in this group, there's a lot of Marvel. And even though I had a bunch of these, I figured I could give them to other people. I told him that since there were a bunch of Marvel and those are more popular, I raised the price to $80. I think I paid either $80 or $85 with shipping. So I'm going to quickly just go through the covers of the first half. Like I said, a lot of them, not all of them are in great shape, but here is a 30-cent Bugs Bunny, a 40-cent Men of War, definitely, yeah, a Joe Kubert cover, Grave Digger in the Death Camp. That was number 11. This is Men of War number 15. I mean, for $1.25 maybe, these are great. Another Men of War, like this one isn't in the best condition. Number 16, I've done it. I've buried the grave digger alive. It must be a connected story. Men of War number 17, crocodiles, Nazis and submarines. Men of War number 18. This one is a little bit dirty, but yeah, it's a Joe Kubert cover with a great yellow background. Another Men of War number 19. Number 20, When the Walls Come Tumbling Down. I know a lot of you out there really like Kubert art. I can take it or leave it. Number 21. Number 22. There's a lot of Men of War in here. This has some great background work details. Here is Our Fighting Force, a number 20. This is a 20 center. That's great for the price. Here's Our Fighting Forces again, number 147, a 20 center. Our Fighting Force, this one's more beat up. It's a 25 center. Oh, that's cool because that's definitely a Kirby cover. Wow. I'm happy to have that even beat up. Here's another Kirby cover. We're back to Kubert. This is that's actually a pretty cool cover with that blue background. I've got a lot of war. Okay, this is the last one, I think. Here's a Porky Pig. That one's pretty cool. So that's a 15-cent gold key. Ah, what a great price I paid for that. Okay, Jonah Hex. A more modern Fighting Forces. Still Joe Kubert. There was a lot of Khazar in this set. So this is Khazar number 3, or Khazar number 3. That is so cool. I'm not sure if I have this one, so that's good. I think I have this one, a number 5. It's a great cover. I do have this one. I absolutely love that cover. That's definitely got to be Abushema. I mean, he just looks like Conan there with blonde hair. Here's a number 9. So cool. And 15. I always liked that cover. So which of those comics were your favorite? We're not done. We're just taking a short interlude in this symphony of comics to talk about another channel that I would like to recommend. Donald Rex has recently been commenting on my videos. Well, actually not recently. He's been commenting a while, I believe, off and on. And I did visit his channel before, and then I went back this morning and I started looking at some of his videos. So he has 163 subs. 94 videos, and he's been on YouTube a year. Now, he doesn't show his face. He makes videos with his hands looking down, turning the pages and showcasing his comics.
I got these for about $12, including shipping. You can see that these are kind of beat up, so even though they were cheap, that's kind of a reason for it. But I don't really mind because I just like looking at them and checking out the art. The stories are, well, the stories are the stories. This has a Tom Sutton cover, with a nice skull in the background behind the gunfight. The reason I bought this section, this collection, is because they had some art by Demetrio Sanchez Gomez. This issue, it's just the frontispiece.
Or he goes through comic boxes to show you the kinds of comics that he has, and he chats about them.
These are a group that I got from a trade with my old pal, Pop Fuzz, who has several channels on YouTube, including Pop Walks, which is a good time.
Both types of videos are interesting, and I'm going to make it a purpose to go through his back catalog. I actually started that this morning, and I watched 3 or 4 of his videos, and I commented on them. But again, he's another YouTuber with only 163 subs after 1 year. So I'm going to encourage everyone to please follow the link in the comments. In the description, and check out his channel. Okay, I'm going to go over the rest of these comics. I'm going to try to do it quickly, and even if I don't do it quickly, I'll edit it so that we'll get through them. This is Jack Kirby and John Romita. I mean, that's amazing. I might have this, but if I don't, I mean, that is so Kirby. And then mixed with John Romita, I mean, that's a great combo. Here's another Khazar, number 8. Number 18, I really like that one too. The Arena of Death. I think I've showcased that in another video. This is a really cool cover with that red background. This almost looks like something out of Warlord of Mars. This Savage Unchained, Ragnar the Slayer. Another Khazar. Okay, I love Claw, Master of Sound. I really liked that villain as a kid. Kull the Destroyer, number 17. Come on, this is a great haul of comics. Here's another 17, so I at least have an extra one of that. Here's a 30-cent GI Combat. I'm not sure who the artist is. It says LD or ID, but I am digging that art. That's really good. And if this happens to be Joe Kubert, then I'm going to eat my words. I love it. Look at that. This looks like a horror comic. I watched another new one. What was his name? Uncanny Denny, I think. He was on Hall Yeah's show, and he made it a point to, in a recent video, to point out how an artist on an early Uncanny X-Men issue, really it looked like it was just a horror comic with just the X-Men on it. And he was right. And that kind of this comic kind of reminded me of that. I mean, this really is a war comic, right? But it looks like it could be a horror comic. Here's another war GI Combat. This is definitely Kubert again. I wouldn't want a tank falling on top of me. I'm getting a lot of Kubert in this. Here's a GI Combat. These are the dollar issues. I know a lot of people collect these dollar issues, and I do as well. This is an amazing addition to my collection. So even though it's got tanning up here, I don't care. This is Baron Werewolf's Haunted Library. I mean, look at that. And who is the artist? You know, this really looks like John Byrne, but it's got that light penciling of a Kubert. I'm wondering if it might be two people working together. I mean, but those faces really do look like John Byrne to me. A horror issue. Finally, House of Mystery, a 50 cent. That's odd. I could have sworn I heard someone moving in here. There's Joe Kubert again. This one is really, really beat up. It's a 40 center. Huey, Dewey, and Louie Jr. Woodchucks. Here's John Carter, Warlord of Mars, number 2. This is Gil Kane, and Dave Cockrum. So I know Dave Cockrum best from those initial issues of the revamped X-Men. And yeah, that's great. I bag on Gil Kane a lot, but this is actually really nice. Here's another John Carter. This one says, oh, it's Gil Kane. Ooh, I don't have this one. It's a little beat up, but that's okay. I don't have this one for sure. Oh, it's an annual. This is a 10-cent Dennis the Menace, and it's all beat up. But man, I'm glad to have that in my collection. Here's a 30-cent Donald Duck again. It's beat up. It's too beat up for a 30-cent one. And Dragon Wheels. That one was number 50. Whoa, they had a lot of those. This one is number 58. Who knew? Here's a Charlton Fighting Marines. More war comics. Oh, this is a great one. It's a Charlton Comics Blondie. Oh, romance. Romance are always popular. I don't get them too much. For lovers only. Second chance. I'm the boss's niece and secretary, but that doesn't matter to Wick. He loves me, doesn't he? I don't know about Wick. Here's another GI Combat. Kubert art. Another Khazar. I've definitely shown that one before. That one is awesome. Khazar number 20. I mean, I just love this guy's outfit. I mean, he's the best. If I had that body, I would do that for Halloween. Oh, another copy of it. And 2 more. Beagle Boys versus Uncle Scrooge. And that is a 40 cent, and unfortunately, it's so beat up for a 40 center. Finally, a Charlton Comics 20 center. So this, even though it's beat up, I don't mind because it's a 20 center. Billy the Kid. I don't know about this. So from that section, which comic did you like? So that brings us to the third shout out that I'm going to do. And this one is going to be Steve Driscoll. I think I recently came to know Steve Driscoll because he was commenting on my live videos. So after the show, I went to his channel and checked him out. He has been making videos for almost a year and he only has 30 subs, and that's a crime, everyone. Please do something about that. Okay, everybody, please follow the link and let's double his, like I'm going to have 30 people watching this video. Let's everybody please just click on him and at least watch one of his videos. All he does is he sits there and he shows his comics like all of us do.
Captain America 355. And in this one, it's from 1989, cover art by Ron Friends and Al Milgrom. Teenagers go missing, and Cap's old love flame, his little sister, is missing. And so she practically begs him on the phone to go out and find him. So he knows he can't go out and find teenagers at the bus stop as Captain America. He's too big, too strong, too powerful. He'll be recognized in a minute. So he goes to Cersei and Eternal and asks her to turn him young for 48 hours.
But he shows them with such enthusiasm. He's so happy. And he actually talks about the history of him. You can tell that he is a comic nerd, and I say that with love in my heart because I'm a gigantic nerd. But he loves what he's talking about, and his enthusiasm comes through in his videos. Let's get him to more than like 30 subs. He needs to be at least 100. Now, after a year, for me, and only having 30 subs, I know I would have been really disheartened. His positive energy needs to be reinforced, not stifled. So we got to give him some subs. What I am going to say, Steve, though, you can totally ignore my criticism right now. You film this way on your phone, and I get the way you do, why you do that, because you're sitting like this and you're showing your comics like this. But I'm going to show you how that's a disadvantage for a lot of people. So when you're watching on your phone, that's fine. But for me, what I do is I immediately click the comments. And as you're talking, I write comments. That's the way I comment on videos. People know that it's kind of like stream of consciousness, but I do that because I want you to understand that I'm engaging with your video, and the little things that you say, I want to comment on that interest me. And so I usually end up writing quite a few bit of comments. But as you're going to see, when you're on the screen, if I'm holding my phone this way, you're totally fine. But in order to write comments, I have to put it this way. So you automatically shrink to the top part of the screen. And when I click on you to make comments, you get even smaller. And you can't click out of that once you write a comment. You have to stay in that comment mode unless you click send every time and edit. And so I'm watching you on the screen like about this big. And of course you're showing off comics and I can't see them the way that I want to, but that's a criticism for me because that's how I comment. I'm going to ask you, Steve, would you please try making a video vertically instead of horizontally? Just one time, see how it works out. And if you don't like it, then you go back to the way you do it. I will still watch your videos regardless. That's just one thing that bothers me because I want to be able to see you, in all your glory as you're gleefully explaining your comics to us. So this was a Garage Geek 2-in-1 where I got to show off 2 hauls. I want to really thank Mr. E, the Low Grade King, for sending me that wonderful box of comics. More on some of those. I said more on.
He said anus.
More on some of those on Friday. Please visit Mr. E, Donald Rex, and Steve Driscoll just to say, a shout out, say hello. Some of their videos are only a few minutes. If you could just go ahead and watch one, at least leave a comment. I know that would probably tickle them pink. I want to thank everyone out there for the support.